Hello everyone, and welcome once again to Caleb Likes Books. Today I am bringing you another Star Wars book review, this time something a little bit different, and that is for the book Myths and Fables by George Mann. So Myths and Fables is a book that is not really part of the Star Wars canon, as far as I'm aware anyway. However, it is a Disney-released book, so it's kind of in that weird space of it's not really canon, but it was still done by Disney, so whatever. I reviewed another book of a similar type back in October of last year, Dark Legends, which was also written by the same author. And this is kind of a similar thing to that. That book was kind of horror spins on Star Wars, kind of short stories that are kind of more horror-esque, whereas this is telling some Star Wars stories in more of a, as you would assume by the title, in a way that's more in line with a myth or a fable or some kind of thing like that. So it's definitely a unique read for sure, and it's one that I was very much looking forward to. So starting with the positives, of course, I would say this book is pretty consistent in its quality. Dark Legends, for me, not to compare too much, but Dark Legends did have a few really good stories, and then the rest was just okay, at least to my memory. Maybe I said something different in my review, but from what I remember, that's how it was. Whereas this one didn't have much that really stuck out to me like some of the ones in Dark Legends, but the quality of the books generally was consistently good, or the quality of the stories, I guess I should say. There wasn't really any that I didn't like, or even ones that I thought were more mediocre. I mean, there might have been one of them that I can think of that I thought was a little bit more on the mediocre side, but really generally the books, or goodness, the stories in here were generally all on the same quality level of being just good stories. Not really any incredible stories, but just generally good, enjoyable, fun stories. And so I think that's definitely a positive aspect to it. I also enjoyed the kind of the style, I guess, the tone, something like that, of this book. Like I said, these stories are kind of in more of a style of like a myth or a fable, which was nice to see. It was interesting to read Star Wars stories from that angle, kind of similar to, again, Dark Legends, taking more of a horror story angle to it. I also enjoyed the variety of stories in here. There's a decent variety of stories. There's some, for example, there's one about General Grievous, and kind of talking about him. There's one about a Jedi who you actually see the art for it on the cover here, fighting a crate dragon who is attacking a group of Tusken Raiders, and or I think it was Tusken Raiders anyway, attacking a group of people in any case, and things like that. And that was a fun story. You've got one about some Sith, that while Dark Legends did deal more in Sith, this was not really horror in that sense, but it was a story, kind of a myth about Sith. That rhymed. There were a couple of stories actually in here that were connected, which was interesting, and some stuff that's more kind of a moral tale, I guess you would say, something that some parents might tell their children in order to be like, look at this story and look at the morals that it puts forth and the lessons and things like that. Which was kind of fun as well. So you get a decent variety of types of stories and flavors and things of that nature in this book, which was nice. The final positive that I think I want to point out is the artwork and the general way the book is put together. I really enjoy about this book and also Dark Legends. They're very small books. They're very short. You can see here it's not very big. But I love just the presentation of them and the artwork in them. All of the stories on the page right before the first page of the story, you get a very nice piece of artwork. So first here you can see one of them. I'll see if I can track down a few more here if you just bear with me a moment. Here's that General Grievous one I was talking about. Looks kind of cool. Here's another one for a story called Dark Wraith that I really enjoyed. I just love this piece of artwork, and the story itself was cool too. And yeah, each of these stories have different pieces of artwork that look very nice. I love the cover on this book as well. I would say in terms of the presentation of the book itself, compared to Dark Legends was like half this size, and I wish they had been a little more consistent with the sizing of these books. I wish that either Dark Legends was this size or this one was smaller, but that's not really a positive or negative for the book itself. It's just something I thought I'd mention. Yeah, I really love the presentation and the artwork and all that stuff on this, and all of that stuff. As far as negatives for this book, there aren't really any big ones, I would say. Not that I think this book is perfect by any means, because for me, all of the stories were just kind of good. There weren't really any that really stuck in my mind as really awesome or fantastic or spectacular or any other various positive words that you would like to use. They were just good stories. Not really anything bad to say about this book, really. It's just a generally fun, enjoyable read. As far as a rating out of 10 that I would give this, it would probably be like a 7 out of 10. Again, not that, it had any big flaws, because in my mind it really didn't. But generally it was just a pretty good read. Nothing incredible, but definitely something fun to read if you want something just short and sweet and just generally something unique and interesting. I would imagine that this book, as well as Dark Legends, would probably be good for kids as well. So if you've got kids who are maybe interested in this sort of thing, then I think this would be good. But anyways, that's pretty much all I got for you for this review. So let me know in the comments if you have read Myths and Fables and what you thought of it, if so. And that's pretty much it for today. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time.